So our first class was herbology, and in herbology we planted dirigible plums. So we learned about them in the textbook. We read about them and how to transplant them, because that's what we were doing today, was transplanting them. So you take your pot and you're going to put some potting soil in it. Then you want to go to the tree and find a good plum and cut it off. Now you need to get a rock to tie the plum to so it doesn't float away. So now that I have it tied, I'm put it in my pot. And then you want to take some seeds to fertilize it. Add some more potting soil. Cover it. You can put a label to remind people to keep off the dirigible plums.
Dirigible plums is to snip them off the tree. Now, when you snip them off the tree using your scissors, you are going to snip them as close to the vine as possible without damaging the main bush, because you want them to fruit again. And so we're going to grow one from there. Be careful because they will float away. So would you like to try first?
So just like...
Yes, just snip it off, and then you're going to bring it back, and you need to tie it to the small stone so that way it will not escape.
You just double like hanging up scissors like
Oh, look at that. Yes.
Is there any more trash?
And then you can put them down into the pot.
That's cool. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Luna is in.
Oh,
Luna
oh.
is in. She's in potions. Might help each other.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Now, dirigible plums do best if you have the vine down into the soil. So you're going to take a few little scoops of soil and put them over top of your stone and the vine so that the vine can take root.
So for our potions class, we brewed the Love Potion and Mortentia. And if we look in our potion book, we have a recipe for Amortentia here. So, according to the recipe, the first thing we need to do is place 1.5 ounces of standard potioning water into our cauldron. So, if I take my little ounce scooper, roll up my sleeve, and a half. Okay. Now, our next step is to add 1 ingot of pearl dust to the cauldron and stir 9 times clockwise. So, I have on my potion shelf concentrated pearl dust. So I'm just going to add that to the cauldron and stir it 9 times clockwise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next, we have to add 1/2 ounce by weight of moonstone to the mortar and crush it into a coarse powder. So I have a mortar and pestle here. I have on my potion shelf a scale, which I will set to 1/2 ounce. And in this cauldron of moonstone, I will just add some until I get my 1/2 ounce. There we go. So I'll put that in my mortar. And then I just have to crush it into a powder. Now that this is crushed, I will just scrape it into my cauldron. Okay, I'll stir that in. As you can see, the potion is starting to look pearly. Alright, next, we have to squeeze the yolk of 1 frozen ashwinder egg into the cauldron and stir 7 times anti-clockwise. So, I have ashwinder eggs here. I'll select one. And I will squeeze the yolk into the cauldron. Just discard the shell and stir 7 times anti-clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Next, we have to add 1 rose petal to the cauldron and 5 drops of peppermint oil. So I have my box of rose petals, and here's a bottle of peppermint oil. I will add 1 rose petal and 5 drops of peppermint oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then the book says to stir clockwise until the color is even and the potion gives off a pleasant fragrance. So I will just stir, mixing in the rose color. And it smells like vanilla. And once the color is smooth, we know the potion is done. So we can take a jar, and if I grab candle wick, we can put our potion into its jar. And then I just drop the wick in, make sure it's sitting in the center, and our potion is done.
This, I believe, is
1 ounce. That right now is 0 ounces.
okay. Alright, so this is a 1 ounce container, so you'll need, if there's 2 of you sharing, then you're going to need to put like 3 of these things in to be able to get to the 3 ounces that you need for your potion. So if there's 3 of you, you're going to try to get 4.5, 5 ounces. So you're going to have to walk around a little bit careful, because the stuff is very hot. Okay, so really? Okay, so we do have these here. Okay. All right. Now, what's next after the standard potion?
It says add 1 ingot of pearl dust to your cauldron and stir 9 times clockwise.
All right. So here is
Pearl dust.
your pearl dust ingot.
The way to
Okay.
The next ingredient is add 1/2 ounce by weight of moonstone to your motor.
Okay. So the moonstones are in this cauldron here. Okay. You're going to have to weigh that out. So you're going to have to remove the skull here. And this is a genuine balance that's set up the way it should be. Okay? So as you grab your moonstone, you'll be able to place your moonstone on to balance it out, and then that will get added to your potion as well. Okay? What's next?
So I'm going to take you on a brief tour of Diagon Alley, which begins outside in platform 9 3/4. So we walk through the platform and we see the Hogwarts Express and some Hogwarts trunks. And down here is Diagon Alley. So first we have quality Quidditch supplies over here. We have broomsticks. We have our Quidditch supplies. We have Natalie's Nimbus 2000. And we have a Hollyhead Harpies jersey and a Gryffindor Quidditch robe. Over here is our Leaky Cauldron notice board. This was our drink table. And over here is our Daily Prophet newsstand. Next, we come to Ollivanders. So in this window, we have wand boxes stacked haphazardly, as they are, in Ollivander's shop, and a few loose wands. And in this window, we have a tool chest with some wands and some phoenix feathers and some carving tools. And then over here, we have the night bus. And over in the next block, we have the magical menagerie with our measles and our puffskein and a niffler and a toad and an iguana and a snake. And then next in line is Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes. So we have one of the Weasley twins on top. Never really sure which one it's supposed to be, but with his hat and his arm. And then we have our candy table in front, which is a little bit picked clean. But we had all of our Weasley's candy and dragon roasted pecans, which were delicious. And some Birdie Bots every flavor beans. I don't know what this one is. Ugh! Yeah, it's the rotten egg one. Oh, gross. There's a taste out of my mouth. Okay, so next we come to Elope's Owl Emporium, and we have our owls out front here. And then we get to Nocturne Alley, and we have Borgin and Burks. And over here in the window, we have a bunch of dark arts paraphernalia on display. And yeah, so that is our Diagon Alley.
Good evening, class. Today we will continue our discussion of the history of magic in Britain into the 10th century, which brings us to the founding of Hogwarts. Now, as all of you know, this school was founded by the four greatest wizards of their time: Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Salazar Slytherin, and Rowena Ravenclaw. They constructed the castle on these grounds, legend has it, after Ravenclaw dreamt of being led to the hill by a wild hog. Legends aside, the founders most likely chose the location for this castle because it was far from prying Muggle eyes. They built the castle together, each designing different aspects of the building. It is well known that Hufflepuff built the Great Hall as a place for all of the students to gather. Ravenclaw, of course, designed the grand staircases, and apart from his contributions to the main school, Slytherin also built a secret chamber, which was long thought to be a myth, but we now know to exist. And there are rumors that Gryffindor built a secret chamber of his own, a vault to store his treasures, including his legendary sword, created for him by Ragnarok I, finest of the goblin silversmiths. We know from reliable historical sources that the sword can present itself to a worthy Gryffindor in a moment of need, but no one knows where the sword goes between summoning, which may have sparked this ridiculous legend of Godric's secret vault. I remember several years ago this rumor got stirred up again when someone found a secret compartment in the Gryffindor common room fireplace. A few students thought they would search for the treasure, but obviously they never found anything. Much more interesting than that is the settlement of Hogsmeade Village, oh dear. Um, I seem to have misplaced my notes. Perhaps I left them in the staff room by the fireplace. I did leave my body there once. One moment, class.
So the scavenger hunt begins after History of Magic class when we are led to the Gryffindor common room to look for the secret compartment in the fireplace. I think I found it. We've been given a Marauder's map and a letter. To whom it may concern. Obviously, we have found this compartment before you. Inside, there used to be a map to the legendary vault of Godric Gryffindor. We regret to inform you that the secret passageway this map led to is caved in. Luckily for us, and you, we happen to be expert map makers ourselves. We know more secrets of this school than any other students to ever walk these corridors. We found another entrance to Godric's vault, and we shall lead you to it as well, if you can prove yourself worthy by passing our tests. Good luck. Sincerely, the Marauders. Here's your first clue. The key to crack this code lies with me. My life can be measured in hours. I serve by being devoured. Thin, I am quick. Fat, I am slow. The wind is my foe. What am I? That sounds like it could be a candle. So let's go to the Great Hall, the best place to find candles. Aha. These three candles read A equals M. And on the letter, we have a decoder. So we need to turn it to A equals M. And now we're ready to solve this code. So I've cracked the code, and it reads, in the trophy room, point beater to beater and keeper to Q, seeker to G, and you'll find your next clue. So let's go to the trophy room. Well, this is one of the only big Quidditch awards, so I'm going to go with this one. So, point beater to beater, keeper to Q in Quidditch, seeker to G, and you'll find your next clue. Look at that. The next cipher to be solved is found in this book. If it wasn't invisible, you'd know where to look. I remember in potions class, in my textbook, there was a potion to reveal the invisible. So I'm going to go check that out. So now we're in potions, and I believe in the textbook there was, yes, a potion to reveal the invisible. So to brew this, I need to combine 3 drops of dragon's blood with 2 drops of demiguise tears. Stir the mixture together and swab gently on the surface to reveal invisible ink. So I need dragon's blood, dragon's tears. And a swab. And a dropper. Okay. 3 drops of dragon's blood. Two drops of demigod. Now I just need to mix them together. And I think the title is here. So we'll swab it on there. The Secrets of Alchemy Revealed. I've seen that book on this shelf. Right here. Perfect. If in this quest you are to succeed, you must decipher these codes periodically. Well, there's a periodic table in the potions room, so let's do this. So this code spells out Agarcalis incandesco, which is a plant I remember from Herbology. So let's go back to the greenhouse. So in the Herbology book, here they are. They're glowing mushrooms, and they seem to be blinking in some sort of code. Now, on the back of the last clue, I notice Morse code, so I need to decipher this. Okay, so this is the Morse code that I got, and this spells out fox. So we better go check Dumbledore's study. Hello, Fox. Do you have a clue for me? I do see one. Shine a dark light on Myrtle's mirror. Let's go find Myrtle. Maybe this candle will help. White Queen's Knight to D6, Black King's Bishop to C2, White Queen to A4. Those are chess coordinates. There's a chessboard in the Gryffindor common room. Let's go there. So, White Queen to A4. Black King's Bishop to C2. And White Queen's Knight to D6. compartment opens. You're almost there, you've come so far. Now all you must do is align the stars. We need to go to the astronomy tower. So we're in the astronomy tower. I'm gonna grab some tracing paper, and I have my clue with the list of stars. So now I'm going to align them or connect the dots. So the first one is Vega to Sadir. Okay, so this is what I got from the north, and this is the south. So Newt 4. Well, Newt Scamander is a very famous author who wrote Fantastic Beasts, so I think that's where we should look. That book is probably in Defense Against the Dark Arts. So, on the bookshelf in Defense Against the Dark Arts, Fantastic Beasts. And the clue told me Newt 4, so page 4. Congratulations, you've passed the Marauder's test. We are so proud. The door to Godric's vault lies behind this bookcase. Just say Aloha Mora and you're in. Aloha Mora. Godric's vault.